If you know me, you'll know that I love Aseprite. I've only had Aseprite for less than a year and I've already used 1,200 hours of it. So today I'm going to tell you how Aseprite saved my indie game. If you're like me, you've always had a passion for game design, but was always held back by the whole having to do art thing. Having to do art on your own is really difficult, especially when you can't even write on your own. Seriously, I used to sell games on eBay and I would have to have my mom actually write the addresses on the packaging. So I decided to search free pixel art tools, and when I scrolled down, I saw one that you can use online called Pisco. Pisco, that is a really bad name. After finding Pisco, I was like, dang, this is awesome. It's a free tool and I can draw whatever I want. I'm gonna do amazing. And this is what I drew. Terrifying, right? At this point, I was determined that it wasn't anything but my fault that I'm so bad. Which it was my fault that I was so bad, but there was nothing truly motivating me to actually get better with my artistic skill. At the time, making games was still a little side hobby I did for fun with just myself, but I decided to post a devlog for me and my friends, and the video got a lot more views than I actually thought it would. So that had a glaring issue that came along with it. With that, I had to get better at art so I can make a product that was more presentable to all of these people. And I decided, maybe Pisco wasn't the way for me. Maybe there was something else, something that was better out there for me. Before we get further, if you aren't subscribed, please be sure to subscribe. Also be sure to like the video if you're capable to, as it helps me out a bunch. Back to the video. I had just made a Discord server and I decided to ask them, what should I use for art? And someone suggested Aseprite. I searched up Aseprite and they had a website, so I went to it and I was like, whoa, this stuff is actually really awesome. So I downloaded the demo that they had and I was trying it out and it was amazing, and I was like, I have to buy it. So when I had enough money, I went over to the Steam page because it was on sale on Steam, and I bought Aseprite and I was immediately in love. After buying Aseprite, my passion for art grew massively and I began a rework on my game's art style. It didn't look amazing, but with my limited ability in art, I was extremely proud of it. All of Aseprite's tools just helped me out so much. I've been familiar with Photoshop in the past, and I never really wanted to use it for pixel art because it just felt weird, but Aseprite really felt like it was made for pixel art, and it felt like it was the ultimate pixel art tool. For some reason, I don't know how or what, but it just makes it fun and it doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like if you have an idea and you want to do something, you can just do it. Gonna pause your regularly scheduled video to give you some Aseprite tips. For tip number 1, let's say you want to make a seamlessly looping tile. Now, normally how people would do this is you copy and paste, but you actually go to View, Tiled Mode, and then you can pick whether you want it to mirror on the top, bottom, left, and right, and all you have to do is just draw, and it loops the tiles, so they will always be looping, and it is super easy. And I wish I knew about this sooner. I actually just learned about this kind of recently, and it's such a time saver for making tile sets, especially when you're trying to make bricks, I'll tell you that. So for tip number 2, we're gonna go off of our tile. You can actually click Control B and you'll actually make a brush out of any tile you've selected or anything you've selected. This is really useful if you want to make a background really quick. All you have to do is just draw and it's done. You can press L to do the line tool and you only draw a line of something. Very, very helpful. Now, my last tip doesn't really apply to me, but it might apply to you. Personally, I like making outlines myself. I like drawing it. It's fun. But if you don't like having to draw outlines yourself, all you're going to have to do is you're going to have to click the edit button and then effects, and there's an outline tool and you can choose what kind of color and do whatever you want with it. Super simple, super easy. Do it. I worked a lot with Aseprite once I got it. I sat there and I drew stuff day and night, and I had so much fun with it. It was actually one of my favorite things to do for quite a while, and my artistic skill improved. Whenever I sat down and thought of something, I actually could draw something cohesive, and I had an idea in my mind and I could draw it out, and I never really had that prior to getting Aseprite. So it was really different for me to be able to have a creative vision and to be able to actually just put that vision out there and to actually make it a thing. After some time of working on my game, I released a demo of it and I wanted to take my art a step even further. I decided to get into contact with Mike from Below the Stone. He's an amazing artist working on an amazing game. You should definitely check him out. Links to them are in the description. And he gave me a lot of help and a lot of tips and a lot of pointers. And so with that, it sort of fueled me to be able to just draw whatever I want and to work on whatever I want. And I figured out that my game wasn't exactly the vision that I had for it, and so I really wanted to rework how it looked again. So I went back through all of the tiles and everything in my game, and I reworked it and I made it a lot better. And then I decided to restart my game. But now that I've been restarting my game and working on it more, people are able to see the art and where I currently am with my artistic skill, and I feel like over the year of using Aseprite, I have improved so much more than I ever actually thought I could, and it's really thanks to you guys for giving me the motivation, and for Aseprite for just being amazing and super fun to use. If you would have shown me something that I drew just a week ago, last year, and told me that I drew it, I would tell you that there's no way that I drew it without having a template. I could say maybe I put the colors in, but I could never say that I actually drew it myself. And it's crazy to think that I'm actually drawing these things because I never thought I could do this. I never thought that I had it in me. So of course it's really cheesy and it's really cliche to say Aseprite saved my game and saved my art style, but in a way it really has. Okay, this is just a fun thing for the end of the video because I felt like the video was a little bit too short. So I'm actually going to go back and look through some old sprites that I drew and kind of sort of explain them. So this was my first ever character that I drew, and it's not really a character that I drew. I actually stole this character off Google. I'm pretty sure I could find it. Whoa! Bruh. Censor that. There's boobies. What the freak? Okay, I couldn't find it, and then I saw boobies, so I'm just not going to look for it anymore. You can see there's some very strange animations. The character could actually turn into a cannonball at some point, so that explains why that's there. But overall, I think that was pretty good for like 2 years ago. Here's a pretty cool photo. It actually is the difference between the old and the newer versions of things. So you can see that people like Weldon had a very, very big change, and it looks so much more better than I actually thought I could do. And the main character changed to that. This is actually a kind of older version of the main character. You can see that he looks much more cartoony and less like a Castlevania character, which is what I was basing the original Sprite off of. So you may know that Luna Lane has actually been going on for years in my brain, and I've been writing down these character ideas and enemy ideas and creature ideas. This was actually a sprite that I drew in like 2012 called the Raycore, and it's like a rock thing, I think. I don't really know what's going on, but it looks meh. Here are some really weird frames of animation that I was trying to work on for the rework of the character. I didn't use them, as you could tell, because it's named garbage.png. This is the thumbnail for the demo video that I made, and little mistake there, Anthony. You left the cursor in the picture. Come on, man. Come on, you gotta be better than that. This is the original drawing of the crying girl in Luna Lane. If you played the original Luna Lane demo, you would know her. I think I did a pretty okay job, actually, with getting the leg over. But when I decided to rework the game, I actually made her look like this now, and she has a dress. She's actually another character in the game. You can actually see her in my latest devlog. If you see her, you can comment down below and tell me that you saw her. And the last thing is, these are the different variations of Weldon that I had. And I ended up actually picking this one, I believe, the bottom one. So that was just me exploring a few of my drawings with you guys. I hope you guys liked that. But that's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what I do and want to support me, please be sure to check me out on Patreon. Look at the description, or you can also join my Discord server. If you want to play a game I've made, Treasure and Bones is out now with a big 2.0 update coming soon. Pick it up, it's only $1. I know you want it. It supports me a bunch as well. Thanks for watching! Also, I'm really excited for the community tab, so I can actually make posts for you guys and update you guys and do stories and stuff, but YouTube hasn't given it to me yet. I think it's because I'm at such a low count, because you're supposed to unlock it once you're at 1,000 subscribers, and I've actually had 1,000 subscribers for a few days now, and they actually just sent me the email saying that I got 1,000 subscribers, so I think they're just a little bit delayed on that, so sorry about that. Stop it, Pablo. Stop it.
Is that a gun?
Where? That? That's a gun?
It's a gun.
I'm just showing my old